My shit, that is. Oh, really? She wants to play whatever she wants to play? What the hell is that? Pretty deep, man. That's not what I told her to play. She wants to be random. Alexa, play Beam of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine.
I couldn't find Theme of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine. Here is other music by Nubian Divine.
Alexa, play Beam of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine.
I couldn't find Theme of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine.
Play Beam of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine.
Here's Beam of the Purple Flame by Nubian Divine, featuring Jordan Ford of Zion.
That's right.
On Amazon Music.
Featuring my little mom.
Let's begin balancing our chakras.
Let's begin by balancing our chakras. You heard her, y'all. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another beautiful ass, magical ass moment in time. Time to get up. Hey Siri, like the clock, let's look back for up. It's my mantra time, I'll call the sun to rise. Salute the day I name it, claim it as a mastermind. It's Leon, I own Neon. And my premonition, I am at home here. I claim my mind to visually manifest hidden light. I spread my wings. My chakras are balanced, I take the seed. Behold my soul. I'm new, being divine. My energy signature giving life. No death can hold. I'm in water, time choppers up here. Watch me turn on love, touchy line, kundalini vibes. From homeless to harvest, my magic mastermind. My honor, I am seen. My dark became my beam. No fear, I'm here. Watch the purple flame beam me all up in here. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Oh, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Giving life, no death can hold. I'm immortal, time jumpers of hidden holes. My honor, I am seen. My dark became my beam. No fear, I'm here. Watch a purple flame beam me all up and here. Hold up, hold up, hold up.
You have now been granted the initiation of the Masters.
Good day, everyone. How are you? You little snookum sneaky smarties, boo. Okay, I have a confession to make. I wanted to admit that I'm bipolar to dumb shit, and I don't have patience for it. So if over the past week, if y'all felt that I had an attitude, then I can't say sorry because that's just part of my character. I'm trying to be as patient as I can
with the times, with what's happening, with realizing that everybody's not where I'm at. But I just feel like it's just me. It's only me. And I feel like some of the questions that be asked is just like common sense, but I realize common sense is not so common. But I also realize too that I do have to be a little bit more patient with y'all's. I'm trying. I am trying. I promise you I am. I really am. And that's all I can do. It's like I tell Joy, I'd be like, Joy, don't break my shit. And she'd be like, I'm trying. I'd be like, you do better than try. Just don't do it. But she said, well, at least I'm trying, Mom. I was like, all right, well, I'll take that. So I feel like y'all trying. And speaking of joy and pain, like sunshine and rain. Why am I so bubbly? I got some damn rest. Can you believe that? And I spent the whole weekend loving on myself and my little boo. And my lovely ass pets. And my ferrets, they got their own beautiful ass playpen, so they feel like babies. And my cat, oh my gosh, Ka, she's the one that kicked off this read, y'all. What I'm about to tell y'all right now. Because we have literally stepped into a whole nother frequency, right? I mean, we're already here. But trust me when I say that my animals are very foreign, but yet unique. So Ka, she wants to let me know what frequency that we're on, right? So they say that your pets, they mimic the owner. So look, I know I have no fear, but goddamn, my cat loves walking on the edge of the balcony. The whole, you know, the border, the freaking wall, the rim. Yeah. And then what she was trying to do yesterday, she was trying to look down because she felt that she was going to be able to jump to the floor under me. So I went to the balcony to look to see, like, how could she possibly even figure she gonna make that? Because all she got is one grab once she jumped. And if she missed that one grab, then her ass is like toast. I just have just a few amount of seconds to grab my camera to record her ass like I told her I was going to. If she decides that she wants to just go become Catwoman all of a sudden and think Batman finna come save her ass. I keep telling her that's not Batman, that's motherfucking Superman, but she still wants to be in her own world, do her own thing. So she popped off this conversation because we're literally walking in the energetic zones right now of no fear. Straight up. None. Zero. And if you have any fear at all, your mammals, your animals, your cats, your children, the frequency of your whole entire household, even the frequency of you, I'm telling you, it's going to show up. It's not only going to show up, it's going to resonate around you, and it's going to appear in your home in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through your pets or whether it's through some shit you got to clean up or whatever the case may be. Speaking of cleaning up, this is another thing that happened. So basically, I know the times that we have stepped into. So my body's on a specific recalibration to match the times where my guides have me on. So basically, yesterday, I decided that I was going to do part of that recalibration. And part of that recalibration was just basically setting the tone for my own frequency to help prepare my vibratory field for the times that we're in, because many of you do not realize just really how bad this food shortage is. So I was talking to my team that, we're bugging out to when all this shit goes down for our whole entire disaster plan, because of course my shit's in a whole nother space and a whole nother place. And I'm so super excited. The team that I'm a part of that have shown dedication and loyalty to even themselves, where my guys have placed me with specific people where, Salem, you got out too? What's up, guy? Where we're going to transition through the shift in. Now, a lot of you have been pulled away from specific people to go through this shift with, because those specific people were going to have you jacked up. There are specific people out there who do appear to have some type of supply and demand, something saved up, something that, you know, they are telling you that they either have, or I don't know what the case may be. However, I do know that a lot of people who claim to have this template are not going to make the shift at all. A lot of people who prepared are not going to make the shift at all. The children specifically are the time clocks for this shift. And so many of you have not at all put that inner work towards your children. And this is what I was mentioning about Joy. So she sees mommy, you know, resetting my calibration for the shift. And Joy wants to reset her calibration also with me. So what she does is she decides that she wants to jump on a water fast with me. I asked her what was she fasting for. And she said that she was fasting for the children in the world who are about to experience the shift that will be starving, that will have no food. And with that being said, that alone made me focus in on the recalibration of even what it was that I was doing. And it's very disheartening, but it's also very brilliant for me to have such a beautiful starseed amongst me to be able to be my pendulum, to show me what times that we're in, especially when we're talking about the children. So here we are right now in the midst of this shift. This shift, we're not waiting for the reset. The reset, we're literally in the midst of it. It's already here. The reset has literally already happened to where those of you who have children, even if you don't have children, it's talking about your own inner child work. If you've done that work, if you have separated yourself from people, if you have not been in the energy where you've been so busy mixing and mingling and sleeping around with every Tom, Dick, and Jill, then you're in a space and in a place where your guides have specifically shown you what it is that you are to personally do for these times. Whoever just sent me that donation for $22, thank you, boo. I don't see your name because you sent it through the PayPal, but this segment is donated by you, and the frequencies are going right back to you, babe. So look, so many of us were told to not only be on this journey, but I know a lot of you who have been on this journey have basically been traumatized by love. I mean, devastated. I mean, cutthroat devastated. I mean, I don't even think they have the word on this planet, actually. I'm trying to be nice about it, but there is no nice way to put that shit. That's some fucked up shit. And then to be heartbroken on top of heartbreak, and then to have someone who showed me love the best way that he know how pass away, and then for me to have my heart broken again after that. Oh my God. Talk about feeling like I'm on Once Upon a Time and someone's sticking their hand in my heart and pulling it out and squeezing it, and but they squeezed it so much that it actually caused a reactivation button to come on within me. And I feel that that's what's happening, and that's what's happened to so many of you out there. Now, the way that this whole shift applies to you when it comes to love, how you love, how you're going to be loved, it was not just talking about love. See, you thought it was just dealing with love from that one person, or love from people who have come along, who have let you down or disappointed you or broke you or hurt your heart in some way, shape, or form. However, it was not about that one person. For those of you who have done that work, have you not realized that not only are you more ironed out with starch and everything to spray on your new clothing line, which is your vibratory field, here it is, you have noticed that heartbreak causes you to pay attention to everything. So you no longer allow people to basically walk over you and treat you like crap, and then you not speak up for yourself, or at least say something. See, we were the quiet ones. We were the peculiar ones. We were the ones that everybody hated on. We were the ones that everybody dogged. We were the ones that everybody mistreated. We were like the Chinese of the Chinese people, of the Asiacs, right? This is deep too, because this reminds me why I pull my daughter out of the public school system, because my children have always been homeschooled. But I put my child in a school here in Chicago. And the teachers, when I put her in the school, I already knew my daughter was well, like 2 or 3 years, at least minimum 4 years ahead of her class. Hands down, I know my babies, period, right? Put her in the school, and the teachers immediately start like tagging her papers, marking her grades down, pulling all these grades down, saying she has to do after school time and all this extra shit. And I was like, nah, this is some bullshit. What the fuck y'all getting? Y'all must be getting paid for these programs. And on top of that, my daughter had a black teacher. One was a black teacher, one was a white teacher. The black teacher, she basically told the whole class to write a report about China. And we said, okay, can we write a report about black people? And she says, no, it has to be about China and Chinese people only. So we said, okay, not a problem. So what we did was we wrote a report. Okay, my daughter and I worked on this report. I helped to work on this report when we did our research to know, to see, to prove to her that black people were the OG, triple OG, double OG people on this planet, even especially the Chinese people, which is why they call them Asiatic. Why do y'all feel that this war has been happening so much against the Chinese? They're talking about the Asiatic. Now, let me break it down even further. So, my baby hands this paper into her teacher, so we prove to the black lady that the OG people of China were all black people. They were called Asiatics, right? So here it is. We turn her in this paper. We turn her in pictures. We give her countless ways of what do we documented it. We left our sources, everything, where she can find it herself. So the teacher called herself not giving my baby her grade or the paper back. So I was like, oh, okay, I see how y'all doing it. Y'all trying to purposely keep these children down at this school. I was like, nah, we don't have time for this. Let's go. Pull my baby out the school. Ever since then, we've been on our own shit, but we always have been anyways. It's deep because I've always homeschooled my children. My children have never been to the public school system, which is deep too, because homeschooling your children coming up in the times that my children were coming up in was very foreign to the land. And so many people were so concerned about you that they felt the need to have to call children protective services on you to make sure that your children are okay. All kind of bullshit like that, right? But what we're finding out right now is so many people tied into the child care system, to the children public social service system, to the welfare system, all that shit. All them motherfuckers, all y'all are going to receive homage from the universe, and it's not positive energy either. If you treated the children good, then you're gonna get good treatment. If you fucked up the children, you getting fucked up in this hour. And you got some shit coming for your ass. Not just those of you who have tied into the, let's just say, the welfare or the public system, whatever that fuck is children protective service system, but those of you who have not done your own inner child work to help heal yourself, to help clear out your bloodline, scars, trauma, wounds, it was your responsibility to do that. Why? Because the importance of it was for you to do the work, so therefore your children, you can pass it down to the bloodline of your children, and your children would not be affected by what's getting ready to happen, okay? Now, a lot of you have been listening to me when I've been saying you're not going to go into union at all. Spirit's not going to let none of y'all go into union at all until and or unless, here it is, you do that work on yourself enough to be in this position where you're able to be an example to your children, okay? So many of you are in this space where you can't even be an example to yourself, let alone your children. Others of you, you have taken heed and you have done that work on yourself. You weren't so busy finding yourself in spaces where you were distracted. A lot of you were definitely distracted. You were distracted by people who have come along as the woman in the red dress, whether you're masculine or feminine, and you fell for it. You did not stop this is how vital these times are. If you, first of all, y'all know it. Everybody knows it. We feel it in the air. The frequencies in the air is here. Alexa, play meditation music, because I feel like hearing some music. Hold on, y'all.
Sure. Here's a station for you. Meditation on Amazon Music.
Okay, so a lot of y'all have not been still enough to pay attention to what your body pendulum has been trying to show you. Your own higher self, your own activation system within the self has been literally trying to get your attention, but yet so many of you have given in to your dark side. And so many of you have given in to your temptation side, and you missed the mark. What was the mark? The mark has been the X. Remember, we always said that the X marks the spot. What the hell is the X? Your children, your bloodline, okay? What type of work have you done towards your children right now? Not just right now, in the past previous years or even months. So many of you don't even realize that your children have been placed amongst you as signs. Now, you will know whether or not your children has the mark. What is the mark? The seal. If they have the seal on their forehead, or the seal within their vibratory field. If their third eye is pierced, in other words, okay? Many of you have children. Yes, even though you gave birth to the children, specific children that you have, it just depends on the father that you fathered the child with. That father or that family bloodline could have come with some type of curse or something that child chose you as their mother and then the other person as their father to be able to live out present day karma right now with whatever they did in a past life. So many of you may be finding that some of your children have the mark and some of them don't. Meaning what? Some of your children are going to make it through the shift, some are not. Meaning what? A lot of you have been trying to force your children to be spiritual. You've been trying to force them to be on the right diet, force them to live by your rules, live by your ways, to do what it is that you want them to do. You've been trying to project your way of living on your children. And you can't do that. All you can do is be an example to your children of how to get down, what they are to do right now. But if they choose to take their own path, if they choose to go their own way, then you can't force them, because you are now the narcissist over their life. And we all know we want to get the fuck away from narcissists. So the only thing that you can do is allow your children to be in a space where they are free to discover the essence of themselves while you mold them, while you watch. So many of you have been told to just stop for a minute, stop running around, quit running around sleeping with everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything is wrong with sex at all. That's not what I'm saying here. That's not why I highlight that. I'm highlighting it because so many of you have been so busy running around sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Jill, to the point to where you have jumped and ho-hopped from relationship to relationship to where you don't even have a relationship with yourself enough to be able to sustain yourself and be in a space of solitude on your own. Therefore, many of you don't know what to do without that comfort of being intimate with someone. So you have become addicts, sex addicts, Why? Because here it is, you start feeling like Jack the Rabbit and you want to just start fucking everybody for the simple fact that it's like an endorphin, like a drug, like a high. Instead of you sitting still and using that energy to recalibrate yourself, so therefore you can use it as gas fuel to evolve through these times that we have stepped into. Many of you didn't even realize that your children are the light codes for these times. What do I mean by the children are the light codes for these times? Your children, so many of you have been on this journey where you've been focused or highlighted your focus on love. And I told y'all you weren't going into union with nobody at all until you learn to get your house in order, until you learn to focus on your children, until you even learn to even focus on yourself. So what's been happening, literally what's been happening is, if you've been paying attention to your spirit, if you got away from everybody, if you have not paid attention to the booty calls, if you have not paid attention to the distractions, if you have not paid attention to the devil on the one shoulder, and you've been at least listening to the angel on one shoulder. Now, don't get me wrong, the angel may say some fucked up shit too. So you got to be careful who you listening to, right? So here it is. Many of you have no clue that the codes have come through the children. If you have been watching the children that are amongst you, this is why this adrenochrome, all that shit has been so popular, because they knew that the blood of these children are filled with light codes to help you make it specifically through these times. What's even deep about it is this. So many of you have been dropping your children off at babysitters, but you may not drop them off at babysitters. So many of you have been so desperate for love that you've been pulling these people home from clubs or night scenes or online dating sites. And here it is, my guys just showed me $20. They will spend $20 on you, whether it's a $20 bag of weed, whether they give you $20, or whether they buy you some alcohol. You've been getting drunk, you've been passing out, and these predators have been going through your home. They've been molesting your children. Many of y'all just been dropping y'all children off with anybody. Every time Dick and Harry, your children definitely have been molested. They've been breached, and y'all know it. I'm not saying nothing foreign at all. What's even deep about it is many of y'all know this, but yet you felt like you couldn't do nothing about it. So you didn't do nothing about it. You continued to drop your children off. And then you kept it in the back of your head, but you're like, I got to keep it to myself, because if I tell somebody, they're going to take my kids from me. Versus you taking back control of your own bloodline, taking the power for yourself and saying, hey, fuck that. I'm finna do some shit about it. I'm about to blow this motherfucker's head off, touch my motherfucking child. But a lot of y'all have been so desperate for love that a lot of your children have come to you and they have told you specifically, Ma, your boyfriend's touching on me, or my stepdad is touching on me, or your boyfriend or my stepdad or whatever the fuck he is, he's looking at me, or he's touched me a certain way, and you have questioned your child like, why? What were you doing? What were you wearing? What were you doing that made them do that to you? You're under utter judgment for that. And trust me when I say this will be the hour that you will see exactly what that judgment entails. Because of your laziness, because of your lack of love of self, and projecting that negativity towards you, you have brought it into your own household. Therefore, your children are and have been affected by it. Others of you, your sons have come to you and they have told you, your girlfriend's touching on me, or my stepmom's touching on me, or she's doing something weird, daddy, and you have not listened to your sons. Many of you know that your sons have been breached in some way, shape, or form. Many of you have been changing your children's clothes and you have been seeing their body parts breached, but yet you don't do shit about it. You haven't done shit about it. You're under utter judgment for that. You have literally stepped into the timeline of that. Others of you, you know about the times. Because you know about the times that we're in, here it is. You're like, you know what? Fuck love. Let me focus on my baby. This is love right here. So because you have focus on your children, because you have focus on your baby, you are going to literally, you have been noticing the utter abundance that is coming into your life, that is happening right now. You are the very wise ones because you have been guided by your ancestors, way showers, and guides to pay attention to your children as your children help usher you into this new era that we're all in. So as we're all in this new era right here, right now, we're all in this timeline. Interesting how YouTube just cut off. All right, well, guess it wasn't meant for YouTube to hear it. So let's just break it down. So here it is. We're in this timeline right now where so many of you have been told, look, pay attention to your children. Put that work towards your children. Not just put that work towards your children, put that work towards yourself. As you put that work towards yourself, what you were doing, what you have been doing is you've been recalibrating the timeline, which means as you recalibrate the timeline, you have been making the proper investments in your children right now to help clear up family trauma, family curses, family wounds, to help your babies not continue on with the same exact, let's just say, generational curses that have caused you to have to live the life that you have lived. Many of you have done that work to the point to where you have realized that your children are your investment. They're your future. They're your now. They're your tomorrow. So therefore, you have literally taken time to spend time with your children and not just spend time with them in the form of calling yourself investing in your children, but the way you've been investing in your children is buying them things such as the latest Nikes or tennis shoes or Jordans, or, you know, just buying them the latest, let's just say, expensive ass outfits just so you can floss to their friends around them to show that, look, they got these expensive ass clothes on, but yet you have no gold or silver saved up. You have no cryptocurrency. You ain't even got enough food to last you through the incoming food crisis shortage that is currently happening right now, but yet your children are so dressed up but messed up. This is what's deep about it, because so many of you have been just buying your children shit, just buying it, just buying it, just buying it, or sending them to a parent to just buy them shit, buy it, buy it, buy it. But at the same time, I ain't buying it, Spirit ain't buying it, but you bought it. Those of us who know, we know. Those of us who see, we see. It's interesting because here it is. So many of you have been investing in all the wrong things when it comes to your children's bloodline. You've been trying to keep up with the Joneses. And as you've been trying to keep up with the Joneses, here it is. You have literally been in a space where, shit, it's like y'all missed the mark. Y'all missed putting all of that money that you're putting into your children's latest fashion designs and latest fads, and, you know, trying to get them away from you so therefore you can go lay around every Tom, Dick, and Jill. You have stepped into the energetic vibratory field in this hour where you're going to realize with real eyes that your investments were way the fuck off, way off. If you have literally not even cared about so much as to what your child is wearing on the outside, as long as they got clean clothes on, and as long as they know about self-love and self-respect, and you have literally been taking time with your children to literally go in the bathroom with them. If they don't brush their teeth, go in the bathroom with them. Stand in the bathroom with them. Show them how to brush their teeth. Although it may seem simple, it may not be that simple. Go in the room with them. Help them clean out the drawer. It may be a very heavy task for them. So many of you have spent more money on your children's outer investment than you have your children's inner investment. You have not even paid attention to the fact that we have come through a transformational time where whatever personal investment that you have done on yourself, that same personal investment has gone directly into your children, directly into your bloodline, which means that those of you who have spoiled the hell out of your children, you are realizing that those children, they got some karma to basically deal with right now because you gave them too much. You wanted the best for them, but the thing about it is you were trying to give them what it is that you never had versus teach them what it is that you were never taught. So here it is. Many of you are witnessing the spoiledness of those rotten ass kids because you spoil them, because you were trying to live your life through them, because you felt like, oh, this is my baby, my schnookums, my boo. But yet you are raising a monster. You are raising children who literally came into this plane of existence to deal with their own karma. But here it is. So many of you did not allow the children to have their own personal experience, even with you realize that, look, it's time for you to, let's just say, realize that whatever investment that you have invested toward your children. For example, if you have taught your children to meditate, to be able to fast, to be able to tap into their superpowers, call on their ancestors, way shores and guides. Even many of you are very wise. You even have, your children have altars, even their own personalized altars. Many of you were so busy trying to alter your children on the outside of themselves, you didn't even realize that your children are your altars of the right now. Your children are your altars of your homes, your lives, the energies that we're stepping into. Your children are the pendulum of if you're going to make it out of this. Now, one thing that I do know to be factual is that it's not comfortable for me to say this, because I try to keep it in the back of my head because I know how factual it is, and I don't want to, but I have to say it because I don't want y'all blood on my hand at all. A lot of y'all did not do that work. A lot of people around you did not do that work. Even if you've done the work, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those who have not done the work. A lot of children have not been able to be recalibrated. Why? Because you did not do the work. Meaning you were so busy looking outside of yourself. You were so busy looking outside of yourself for someone to love you. You were so busy trying to drop your children off at someone else's house. You were so busy trying to stay isolated away from your children when they were trying to talk to you, but you didn't realize that here it is, you were asking for answers and your children were coming to you to answer those questions, but you were like, get away from me, leave me alone. And you were spending more time talking on the phone to your friends or to your booty calls than you were with your children. Very deep, that it looks like a pyramid coming up by the mist of the sky. Looks like the eye of Ra coming straight through with wisdom. I'm spitting it. I'm spitting the knowledge, Ra. I'm spitting it out. So many of you are in this space where you have become intoxicated by your spaces of promiscuity. And you've been hiding in these dungeons of your lust. And you've been sleeping with demons who have been in disguise as angels, but they were legions of the fallen angels who have purposely come to distract you, to minimize you from stepping into your birthright that you were left the responsibility of, to empower your family through the incoming shift with. But many of you, you had every ample opportunity to turn it around. Many of you were given lump sums of money. Many of you were given ample opportunity to put yourself in a better position, to put your children in better positions, but it was not about the material wealth. Many of you just went shopping and splurging and shopping and splurging. And right now, you don't have any personal investments that's going to help you make it through this incoming shift. What is the incoming shift? The incoming shift is here. It's right now. It's happening right now. That shift is merely dealing with the frequencies that are around you. Whether it's how your house looks, is your home clean? Because if your house is not clean, that means your mind is not clean. If you have not done that, if you've been so busy trying to spend time with family, or trying to worry about whether your children are around, if they're gonna follow a spiritual path, if they're not gonna hang out with those friends, if they're not gonna eat a certain way, but yet you have not been that example, you sound like somebody that's in the church that be clapping and dressed up and, you know, and playing and dancing to the music and shit. And then when church leave, you fuck your kids up in the car on the way home. This is what many of you who have been trying to eject a spiritual walk on your children do not realize the real lies that your children are seeing deep within you. They're looking at you and they're questioning you about what it is that you're on, what it is that you're a part of. I know that all of us have literally been called to balance ourselves, to literally tap into our own personal gifts, to tap into our own vibratory field, what makes us heal, what makes us grow, what makes us evolve. However, it's very interesting how everyone wants to call the masculine a hoe, but fail to realize that here it is, many of you feminines have blocked either the father from the child's life, or let's just keep it real, you were a hoe and you didn't even know who the father was, or you had a contract with the father to just give you the sperm. And if that's the case, then more than likely you have taken care of your child because you already knew firsthand what you were going to do with that seed. And if the father agreed, then hey, you have an agreement. However, others of you dropped your sons off at these churches, at these babysitters, and because they were boys, you did not know what to look for, or you did not realize that your boys were being molested by these women, these older women on top of that. Or they may not have been older women, they may be children. I mean, we have found that the churches and the schools and the after school programs have been the #1 breeding ground for child molestation. I'm not going to stop saying that. So here it is, so many of you feeling as if you have taken your children amongst these holy temples, and here it is, they're getting jacked up and breached and molested all in the bathrooms, all in the pews, all in the closets, all kind of shit. But yet so many of you have not taken the time to further investigate yourself, what has been personally happening with the trauma of your own bloodline. So many of you did not listen to your intuition. So many of you are in this space where here it is, you've been asking your angels and your guides for a way. You've been asking them what your next move is. You can tell the temperament of your home based off, if you have animals, if someone else has animals, look at how their animals are acting in their home. You can tell the temperament of that house based off of how those animals are acting. Here it is. We're in the timeline right now where all of us are going to experience what it is that we have invested in our children. So even if you've had your child under you all the time, but yet your child is used to seeing you be a hoe, then trust me when I say your child is, like they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? However, these were the times right now for you to do that work on yourself to the point to where your child would be able to, let's just say, recalibrate your bloodline. In other words, you had every ample opportunity to break any generational curses. So therefore it would not pass down to your children. Now, if your child is over the age of 13, then your children are responsible for their own healing. They're responsible for their own recalibration in this life cycle as they have chose you as a parent. Many of you don't have patience with your children at all. Many of you, your children were and have been around to teach you patience. Many of you, you don't even realize that that child is you, in a Mandela effect, reliving out their life all over again. And you are to treat that child the way that you did not want to be treated. Don't treat them how you didn't want to be treated as you were growing up. You're given every ample opportunity for that. Many of you tied into the foster care system because you felt like, oh, I messed up with my children. So because I messed up with my children, let me go ahead and adopt these children because I'm given a second chance. So what you called yourself doing was giving yourself a second chance, but by taking on a stranger's child. But what you did was you still didn't fix the work with your own children. You were still dogging and dissing your own children and dismissing your own children and causing separation and conflict with your own children. And you felt that you were going to take the easy route. and avoid the conflict, without realizing that even though you got a whole new set of children in the household, the conflict never subsided. Because now here it is, it's like you taking on the role of even Hagar. And here it is, you have mixed and mingled the bloodlines that have caused you to be distracted from what it is that you even needed to heal from your own bloodline. So what you end up doing was taking in these foreign children that were not a part of your bloodline. And here it is, they distracted you from doing that work to help heal the penetration of your own bloodline. And this is why y'all end up repeating the pattern of all, even the foster kids in your home. You end up repeating that pattern. Others of you, you have not done that work to clear up generational trauma, scars, and wounds within yourself. Therefore, your children don't have anything to go off of. You were the active pendulum within your home. You being that active pendulum within your home is what is going to sustain you in the coming days ahead, which is why I'm going back to the beginning of this, where I was sharing with you where my daughter was saying that she was basically asking the gods to have mercy on a lot of the children who are going to be affected by these incoming energies. States, especially Seattle, in California, and a few other states around it, and other states we may not be aware of, have been stockpiling food because parents are too busy running around ho-hopping, running around trying to buy their children the latest outfit, the latest tennis shoes, the latest televisions, the latest video games, the latest hairstyles, the latest weaves. So therefore you can self-medicate yourself to lay down for a one-night stand with someone without realizing that here it is, all of those things that you have been investing outside of yourself are now going to come backfire and kick you in the ass. Because you have been given every ample opportunity to do personalized, generational surgery, inner surgery on yourself to where you'd be able to make it through this shift. Many of you are not going to make it through this shift because your job was to focus on the self. As you focus on the self, you're going to be able to be that example, to know that children are not going to do what you tell them to do. They're going to do what they see you do. So many of you have been that example to your children. And because you have been that example to your children, trust me when I say you're not going to be the ones that your children are going to leave in a nursing home when you get older. Many of you were living in times where you're not going to make it to be older. We're right now in the time, in the calibration where we're about to witness the most greatest tragedy that the world has ever heard of in our lifetime or any life cycle. The tragedy that we're going to realize is going to happen outside of us. Yes, we're going to witness it with our very eyes. Yes, but remember, as within, as without, which means that the trauma that has happened deep within you, deep within your bloodline, embedded within you, you've had every ample opportunity to clear that up within you, to do that work within you, to clear up, to heal generational trauma, scars, wounds. But so many of you want to buy your children things that you never had, versus invest within your children the things that you had to learn to help heal yourself. So therefore your children can be recalibrated. Their bloodline can be cleansed. I'm seeing a vision right now of a water hose, like the water hose coming through. Like even back in the day, they used to take the water hose as a fireman, the police department, and they would hose the black people down. Do you know what the pressure of a water hose is? That's the type of pressure that had to be put on you with your own self-discipline to make the shift, to do that healing work by not giving in to your own personal temptations, whether it was sex, drugs, or whatever the fuck it was outside of yourself. So much to where you spent more investment and more time on focus on that than you did in healing your own trauma to help recalibrate your own family generational bloodline blessings. But many of you are right now in the energies where you are receiving birthright abundance, and you're going to receive birthright abundance. And part of that birthright abundance is because you've done that inner work. Others of you The other part of it is, if you don't hear me mention you in this, that means that you did opposite. That means that the opposite's going to happen to you. My daughter was calling on the gods to have mercy on the children in the coming days ahead, because so many of us are going to witness children starving. We're going to witness children without families, children without parents. You thought it was foreign to watch something on television, to see something overseas, where here it is. So many of the American soldiers went overseas, and their training overseas was literally to go in, to blow up towns, and just train there how to be ready for this battle of Armageddon that is upon us. And amongst that training, so many children who were 2-year-old little girls and had 8-month-old little brothers became parentless because of the American war. Many of you are black people, straight up. This is not even your war. You've signed up for their armies, you're fighting in their war, and this war is happening for you, to protect you. And you're fighting against your own people that have come to help awaken you, to help heal you. So let's take it back to China. Yes, China is part of, the Chinese are part of the European bloodline. Some of them are, but the OG, triple OG of the Asiatic bloodline of China are black people. This is why the war, they've been talking about, oh, the Chinese are doing it. Oh, it's all about Chinese. They're talking about the Asiatic. They're talking about black people. This is why if you look right now, 90%, 95% of the people who are about to be evicted are black people. The war is against black people. The war is against the Asiatics. This is why you will hear so many people say in America that the black people are the first ones that are carrying the disease. And this is why they keep saying China, because they can't just flat out say Asiatic, because that will cause you to look into, wait, hold a minute. Who are the Asiatics? Who are the Atlanteans? Who are the Lemurians? Who are the OG, triple OG, children of the sun, children of this planet? So many of you are stuck in spaces of ego, especially for black people. I was thinking about that, like, damn, black people got attitudes like a motherfucker, because I know my black ass do. But I was thinking too, like, damn, that's because we've been through the most shit. So therefore, we don't take shit from people. We want to get people to fuck up off of us. Or we realize, like, damn, look, that looks familiar. I ain't going through that shit no more. So we put this wall up. But many of you, your ego has superseded you to the point to where it has suppressed you from even your own space of growth or your own space of being in a protective space for what's coming in the days ahead. The children marked the X. They were the X that marked the spot to be able to tell you if you are and or not going to be able to make it through this shift that we're in right now. So many of you have invested in your children's clothes, their rooms, material things. Let's just put it like that. And you sent them out to the public school system. And then when it's time to bring them home to homeschool them, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck am I gonna do with these kids? They wanna shut the fuck up. Because you didn't even realize that you're the first teacher of the child. A child is never, ever supposed to be separated from the parent for the first 9 years of their life. And this is why a baby starts crying and screaming and traumatized when you take them to their first day of school, because they know they're not supposed to be away from that parent. So here it is, so many of you have pushed your children away. So therefore you can go out, you can stay mixed and mingled in the world, what was happening in the world, you can party with whatever the fuck was going on, you can stay a part of this whole frequency. You are the corporate of keeping the fuckery going on within this timeline. You are literally in this space where you're going to experience your own lack of self-investment by receiving judgment based off of how you have or have not put in the work towards making sure that you are personally ready for this shift by your own inner work. therefore being that example to where your children are like, nah, like even if you became separated from those children, like for example, if you became separated from those children know what to do because they've seen you do it. Not just what you told them, they've seen what you've done. There are children overseas right now, 2-year-old little girls that had to take care of their 8-month-old little brothers because soldiers, American soldiers, went over there murdering their parents, killing their parents. And right now you can pull it up. It's all over videos and everything where you can see children basically having to cook meals at a year old to take care of little itty bitty babies because American soldiers have decided to go over there and just blow up and kill their families and parents. And now these babies are without families. America is about to experience the same exact thing. Now, America has already been experiencing this in many ways, shapes, and forms because a lot of people don't want their children at all. We are literally living in a timeline right now where not only many of you are finding that those parents that you thought were your parents are not your parents. Others of you are finding that so many parents are neglecting and abandoning their children, especially women, are giving away their children at an all-time high like never before. Copy, nice. So now, here you are right now in the timeline where if you've done that work on yourself innerly, then you've had children, if you had children under you while you've been doing that work inwardly, you're going to be the ones that are going to make it through this shift. Now, this is what's going to happen, okay? For those of you who have done the work, I'm going to focus on you right now. I'm going to not talk about those who have not done the work because I'm about to chime off. And I'm not going to waste my breath. They haven't done the work on themselves. Why would I waste my breath to tell them what's up? They know what's up. If they don't, they're about to find out. And that's none of my business. You're my business because you have paid attention to yourself. Therefore, you are under the recalibration of my codes, even in my vibratory field of my language, where you understand that I'm dropping light codes to you to let you know that you're going to be protected in these incoming energies that we have stepped into. You're protected now during this reset. You're going to be fine, okay? You're going to be safe. You're going to be good. Don't worry about it at all, okay? And for many of you, just continue to talk with your guides. They will assist you specifically on what to do. Now, I will say this. Many of you are looking outside of yourself, asking other people what they're going to do. And you're running to other people saying, oh, I'll just go to their house. I'm going to be protected. I'm going to be straight. I'm going to be cool, without even realizing that the people that you have set up shop with, you set up camp with, you have lazily said, well, I ain't got to do no work because I'll just run to their house, or they got a farm, or that's where I'm going to go. Those are going to be the spaces that you're going to run to that are going to be fucked up, and or you're not going to be able to get to them, or you won't be able to, you're not going to last there. Let's just put it like this. You're running straight towards quicksand. Others of you have done the work so much to where you have realized with real eyes that the true investment is in your children, right? So you've been investing in your bloodline. You have reset the timeline. You've reset the clock. You're able to recalibrate the energies to step into these energies. So you're going to witness in the coming days ahead starvation that is happening upon the land. A lot of the children are going to suffer the most. You're going to see a lot of children die of starvation because the parents did not do their inner work. But it's not your job to worry about that, for the simple fact that those children are going to have to die off, because if not, they were going to repeat the same cycle and the same pattern that their parents did, because they witnessed what it is that their parents have done, not what it is that their parents were telling them. Therefore, there's a cleaning of the slate, which means that if those parents have not done that generational work, here comes let's say the trailblazers of the gods. They're going to burn out the disease that has happened to the trauma of that bloodline, because those parents have not done that work. Those of you who have done that work, you're going to witness it. So you're going to hear a lot of children screaming. You're going to hear people screaming. You're going to hear it. You're going to witness it with your own eyes, but you're not going to be able to help them because there's nothing that you can do, because they're going to go out anyways. And if you try to help them, it's only a distraction for you, because there's going to be millions of them. So your job right now is to continue to focus on the self. Focus on yourself, focus on your children, continue to do what you can do to heal yourself so that way you can evolve, okay? That way you can build, heal, and grow. And keep in mind, If they didn't do the work by now, they're not going to do the work. If they don't know by now, don't tell them, because they're not even going to listen anyways. And trust me when I say, even if when it comes to your own children, if they are not listening, then they're not supposed to listen. They have volunteered to come into this timeline to pay off that karma. Those children who are listening, who are up under you, anyone who's going to love you, anyone who's going to walk with you in this hour, they're here right now, and you will know them by their fruit. Nubian Divine.